Hello, my name's Eric, and I'm the host of Talking with Famous People and Eric's Philosophy Talk Videos. On this edition of Eric's Philosophy Talk Videos, I'm going to discuss YouTube strategy. Yes, YouTube strategy. I'm going to discuss it in the following way. First purpose, two possible purposes, identity or business. Second, the long tail strategy with some subpoints. Quantity versus quality. Change, variation vectors, including frequency, topic, medium, and length. Then I'm going to discuss efficiency. I'm going to talk about two different applications for editing and messing with video. I'll discuss a third approach, which involves audio editing separately. And then lastly, I'll talk a little bit about the metaphysics of YouTube. Okay, first purpose. My purpose in making YouTube videos is identity development, namely identity construction slash archivism. So, for me, I want to leave an impact. I want to leave an imprint on the world of my presence that will be substantial in scope, probing in depth, and fairly complete in terms of representing who I am, what I think, and in documenting my progress as the years pass and I continue to develop my thoughts and feelings and whatever else about life. However, I think additionally, the strategy that I'm going to articulate in a second is a very wise strategy for a business as well. And I am in the process of making Talking with Famous People into an LLC. I plan to make money off of it. I've got tons of media to utilize for this stuff. Anyway, got a lot of stuff already made. And a lot of stuff that I make nowadays. So anyway, here's the deal with the business strategy. Go quantity, long tail. Why? Well, first of all, YouTube is distinct as a medium because of the way that it discourages you from replacing videos. Like, you can't just change the video and yeah. Alright, what time are we leaving? 6?
Yeah, let's leave at 5:55.
Alright, cool. Going for a little holiday thing. Anyway, so because of that, and because of the way the views add up over time, because of the way that traffic is driven to YouTube, and a lot of other factors, YouTube is conducive to a quantity-based approach. So that if you have thousands and thousands of videos up there, even if none of them is particularly popular, you will generate a fair amount of total views anyway. Additionally, if you have them all tagged out well, and you tag them and you put them up there, then you're going to have traffic from search, if nothing else. And probably won't be a great deal of traffic, but that's the reason why you have thousands and thousands of them. Some of them will get more than others. Now, when you are putting up thousands and thousands of videos, you've got a lot of variation necessarily in play. So some of them are going to be a lot better than others. Some of them are going to be a lot more produced than others. Some of them are going to be just sort of funnier or more meaningful or have more insight or whatever. Some of the vectors of variation I wrote down here. Frequency. I put up videos constantly, but a lot of people don't. Once a week, once every couple weeks. And there certainly is a logic to it which says it's a subscriber-based logic, right? That my subscribers will see these once every couple weeks or once a week. They will be waiting for them because they're not being inundated with crap. That's the thinking. However, it's the wrong thinking. You should not go subscriber-driven strategy. Subscribers are great, but building an audience on YouTube doesn't require you building an audience. It requires you providing useful time objects, and tons and tons and tons of them. So that's what I focus on. I provide useful time objects. Time object being any object, digital object that requires energy to sustain its existence, like a YouTube video. Other kinds of variation include topic, medium, length. So obviously, if you're putting thousands and thousands of videos up, you can't talk about the same thing constantly all the time. You have to have a lot of things to talk about. Now, that means there's a certain personality quality or personality vector in play that you don't really have control over. If you are somebody who can just talk forever about ideas and such, like I can, because your personality is that sort of personality, well, then it's going to be a lot easier to generate content than presumably if you can't. I don't know. I'm not anybody but me. I've never been anybody but me. The other thing, though, is there's going to be natural variation on topic. You could center around a central theme. I can't. I'm unable to do that. I just like variation too much. But you can tie them all together under your channel anyway. And you do that by organizing them in playlists, you know. So, like, I've got things in various media up on my YouTube channel. Got talking with famous people to show. I've got Eric's Philosophy Talk videos, which is me rambling on about shit. But I try to be topic specific, you know. I try not to be vloggy too much, although sometimes I am. I try to tell a specific story or discuss a specific topic like I am now. The length varies, and that is depending on my discipline and depending on how much I want to make a video that's useful or how much I just feel like screwing around. Alright. Most of the time, most videos I'm going to put up are not going to be edited. Necessarily. Why? Well, it's about efficiency. So, let's look at some factors on efficiency. Number one, apps. Does this leave this app ever? Does it leave the camera app on my laptop? If it doesn't, it's fast and easy. I finish this thing. I push stop. I right click, show in folder, open up the browser, go to YouTube, push upload, drag and drop it, tag it out, title it, put it in the playlist, Eric's Philosophy Talk videos, push publish. Write a description. One thing I do not usually do, but I'm going to start doing more and more and more of, is custom thumbnails. I think custom thumbnails help. I think when you see the right kind of an interesting image on a custom thumbnail, then you tend to be more likely to click it and look at it for a little bit. So that's one of those things that requires a certain amount of pre-work that I've now been able to facilitate somewhat. Now that I have Adobe Photoshop, it's got really effective batch processing tools. So, whereas GIMP does not. And so that makes things a lot faster in terms of that. And I'll be using custom thumbnails from now on. Or not from now on, but I'll start using them more and more. I want to go through and replace all my non-custom thumbnails with custom thumbnails, but I got to take a bunch of weird pictures first. Also, if you want to get people to click it, I think it probably helps to have a hot chick as your custom thumbnail. Now, the reason I think this is because one episode in which I have a picture of my daughter, because she's in the episode we were talking, as the custom thumbnail. And the reason I have it there is because she's the guest, so to speak, and we're talking, you know, and so I have a picture of her. But, you know, she's pretty hot, I guess, so that one seems to get a lot more traffic. I think that but I'm not probably not gonna put a whole bunch of pictures of my daughter as thumbnails as clickbait. But I don't really see what would be wrong with it per se. I mean, it's not like she's dressed inappropriately or posing inappropriately or anything. She's just standing there like at the fair, but she's attractive, so you know. So back on track here. All right, so possible programs you can use to edit if you want to edit. I've heretofore always used Windows Movie Maker, which is pretty straightforward, pretty easy to use, yada yada yada. It's also buggy, it crashes, but overall it's not too bad. I recently got Creative Cloud Suite by Adobe, so I've been messing around with Premiere Pro. That is a lot more powerful of an app, obviously, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff, and I'm just starting to think about the possibilities of stuff I would like to do with it. It's great, but it's also slow. If you're trying to get videos up and out quick, then that's not the way to go. So the way to go if you get it up and out quick is just don't edit it and just put this thing straight up. However, I will say the following. If you're going to put up a lot of videos that are not edited, I would personally entreat you as a viewer to be very cautious about your elocution, which is to say your speaking stuff, as I fail utterly. I see so many YouTube videos filled with ums and likes and uhs and or whatevers and blah 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 blah. It's annoying. It drives me nuts because I'm a debate coach, so I listen to that stuff in class and I just want to throw things at them when they start saying before every sentence. It's an unnecessary social adjustment by a lot of people. I watched this video by this dude who's an ENTP the other night, last night I guess it was, and he began many of his sentences with and he began very slow and then he started speeding up as he settled into the video and the ums started dropping away. And it's very obvious to me what he has done in life is he has dampened himself down in this fashion and given social cues of uncertainty / hesitancy / yeah. He's included these ums in order to avoid other people being intimidated or other people feeling as though he's not competing on an equal vector with them or something. Well, no, we can't do that. Alright, so watch your elocution. You'll notice as I speak, I'm able to speak quite fluidly and even quite quickly and express complicated ideas without saying ums and ahs and likes and whatevers. Any person's able to do it with a certain amount of practice and a certain amount of discipline. My teenage daughter drives me crazy because when she spends a lot of time with her friends and doesn't spend a great deal of time with me, she gathers those verbal habits and she starts peppering her speaking with likes. Here's my thinking on like, okay? I don't mind it being used to mean say, such as, and then I was like, blah, 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 blah. I hate it as either a straight up filler word that does nothing. So then he said, like, blah, 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 blah. Or I also hate it as a literal preposition, usually. Alright, well, I'm out of time, apparently, because my daughter's standing here. And I'm explaining my YouTube strategies to the world. And I was just about to get to... Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that's about it. I've mostly finished it. Didn't quite finish the metaphysics. The metaphysics are this. It's a good idea to put out time objects. It's good. It does humanity good. It's more agency loops that can be accessed. People will encounter them in some fashion or another at some point, and they may find them useful. You never know what you might say that might resonate with somebody in some moment where it's useful to them. You hope it will be. And then, lastly, it's good for your family. It's good for your friends. It's good for posterity, right? Think about your great grandkid. Are they going to know anything about their great grandfather? Are they going to be curious? This is the last generation of privacy. So, I mean, acknowledge and understand that this is not going to be humanity anymore. This sort of lived and died and was lost, and there's no record of those people. Well, those days are over. So you decide the record, right? That's why I'm saying this is an identity build for me, not a business primarily. Who are you? Who are you? Have you established who you are? Have you a set of time objects to reference to comprise your identity? Yes, Delilah, I'm ready to go.
You need to put clothes on.
I've got clothes on.
Put on different pants at least.
Why?
You guys, it's a Thanksgiving dinner.
It's at my parents'
I don't
house.
care.
Fine.
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, well, can you put on some other pants, please?